Hello everyone, and welcome back to my art channel. Today we are taking a scribble that I drew back at work and turning it into a rabbit. Let's get started. Crazy to think that it is Easter this week already. Where the heck is 2018 going? And you know, I just thought I was saying to myself, man, I can't believe it's Christmas already. Oh my gosh, it's New Year's. Oh my gosh, it's Valentine's Day, and we're at Easter. Boy, adults were not kidding when they said that time goes by so much faster as you get older. And I'm only in my mid to late 20s, but my goodness, as each day passes, it just doesn't stop. All right, enough about me feeling old here. So as you can see, I was jotting down some possible compositions in my sketchbook for ideas as the layout of the piece, as well as some colors that I wanted to incorporate. Unfortunately, that bright yellow does not make it in there. Perhaps in a future piece I'll use it. And I did play around with the idea of including some kids on an Easter egg hunt, and I thought, you know, it's a little busy enough already with the rabbits and the robin's eggs nests, so I just threw that idea out. And I was just saying in my last video how much I love adding details, but enough is enough. You gotta know when the balance is right for a piece and quit adding stuff, because then it's just one big visual mess. So here we have me transferring the drawing using my handy dandy light box. I can never start on a final piece of paper with the pencil marks. Like, I need to have a sketch out first, because I will ruin the paper by pushing the pencil down too hard or erasing and not knowing how I want to place things. It's just better to use the sketchbook first, figure out your composition, get that all nice and set, and then you got a good base for the final piece. And I'm not saying that no one else can go out there and just go headfirst onto a final piece of paper, but for myself personally, I always like to have my piece sketched out ahead of time because I'd rather not waste materials and paper. Something that I rediscovered while I was working on this piece was my love of mixing colors. Oh my gosh. For the longest time, I would only work in black and white. And once I had a few classes under my belt with color theory and, you know, which colors worked together and which ones didn't, I loved coming up with color palettes for pieces. Like, it was just so much fun. And I realize now that because I wanted to work in black and white so much, it was because I did not know how to use color. Because whenever I went to go color a piece, I just threw some down without any planning and ended up ruining it. So I'm like, just color ruins everything. Leave it in black and white, it looks better. No. Learn how to use color to your advantage and things turn out a lot better. Around Easter time, there are always two specials that I watch every year, and that is It's the Easter Beagle, Charlie Brown, and Here Comes Peter Cottontail, voiced by none other than Casey Kasem, Coast to Coast. And a fun little factoid that I had found out later on in life is that none other than Vincent Price voices January Q Irontail, the villain of Here Comes Peter Cottontail, and his voice is just so creepy and villainous and awesome. For those of you watching, if you have any specials that you like to watch around Easter time that I did not mention, please leave them in the comments below. Maybe I can check them out and see what I'm missing. Besides TV specials and all the commercialism of holidays and stuff, I have a lovely tradition with my family. So on my mother's side, we have an egg cracking contest where every single person has an egg that they dye with their name on it, and you have to challenge someone else in the family and you hit the eggs together, and whoever's is cracked is out, and the last egg standing with no cracks is the winner. And all you win is bragging rights until next year. And then for my father's side of the family, we always go to church and have Easter breakfast at my grandpa's house afterwards. And then the adults go outside and hide eggs for the little kids and cousins in the family. And we all go out and help them search. And it's just a fun time, you know. I remember growing up when my brother and I were really little, we would always see this one rabbit in our backyard go towards our shed and hide underneath the canoe, and we thought, hey, the Easter Bunny lives in our backyard. How awesome is that? And I am just so ready for springtime, because when you live in northern Wisconsin, spring doesn't always come. And, you know, partially I blame the groundhog for seeing a shadow and giving us 6 more weeks of winter, but again, when you live in Wisconsin, you get those 6 weeks of winter whether you want to or not either way, because it's like, oh yeah, you thought it was over, you thought you'd get nice weather, boom, foot of snow in May. Why? Now, don't get me wrong, I love my 4 seasons and that I get to experience all of them, but when you're cooped inside for so long, you go a little stir crazy and you need some fresh air, but you can't have it because it's freezing outside still, and it shouldn't be. Although I must say, now that I am making videos, I don't mind being cooped up inside because it is so much fun making these for you guys. For real, all I have been thinking about since I posted my first video during work is I could be home recording right now, I could be editing, I could be painting, I want to make more videos, why am I stuck here and it's especially slow today? Let me go home and paint, please. But of course, I can't just leave because I need to make money to fund these videos and get my supplies and all that fun stuff, so I stay. But when it is slow, I do grab my sketchbook and jot some ideas down at least, so it's not a total loss. And I am not saying that I don't enjoy my job, because I absolutely love my coworkers. They are wonderful people, and I do enjoy what I do at my job, but at the same time, it's not art, it's not what I went to school for, and that is the ultimate goal to reach, is becoming an artist full-time. And now I'm starting the robin's nest, which is one of my favorite parts of this entire piece. I really enjoyed building up the nest with different layers of browns and tans and having all sorts of different little squiggles and twine all up in there. I am quite happy with how the texture of the nest turned out in the end, as well as the bushes and the rabbits for that matter. The textures overall in the piece turned out much better than I had originally planned, and I'm grateful for that. I'm really happy with how the eggs in the nest turned out as well. Of course, they are robin eggs for my Grandma Gracie. She absolutely loved robins and had a whole collection of robin doodads and trinkets and things, and every time I see a robin, I think of her. Speaking of robins, I actually saw one on my way to work the other day, and I just got so excited because seeing robins in Wisconsin means spring is on its way, and I cannot wait. I always really loved the robin's egg blue, and it just makes me think of dyeing Easter eggs. And, you know, now that I'm older and I'm an adult, as they would say, I don't dye Easter eggs too often anymore, but I still buy the dye kits, and I actually end up using them as watercolor from time to time. Perhaps I'll save that for another video for you guys, because I think it was really interesting to work with something that isn't meant to be a typical artistic medium. Not to mention the vibrant colors that you can get from those dyes. And the less water you use, the more vibrant they are, and they are just gorgeous. Speaking of materials, once again, I have been using acrylic paints in this piece. And then at the end here, you see me signing and lining with my Micron ink pens.